Hello, people. My name is Kale Boss. The only boss. Oh, wait, what else? Have you heard? Wait, do you know that Tap Tap Send is live in Texas? Oh, you didn't know? We went to New York. Now we are live in Texas. So people in Texas and around, all you have to do is to download Tap Tap Send. Yes, Tap Tap Send has become the most unique, secure, and fast way of sending money across the world to your loved ones anywhere. Okay, so download Tap Tap Send on Google Play Store or App Store, and when you're in Texas or around, you just have to put in the code TXGH. What did I say? TXGH, and you get $10 for your first transaction you make. Mahama media, Texas, you drew ho. Very soon we'll conquer everywhere. Download Tap Tap Send now on Google Play and App Store. Tap Tap Send, it's secure, convenient, easy, and fast.
Capstone E Global Consult Limited. Jumekuo bi a omo fa registered nurses, drivers a omo GCC license, NFA securities. Omo ko amaya hodro bi so te se Dubai, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, NFA USA. Na mene wo kasa sisi akra. Omo per registered nurses. Omo ko USA. Akoya juma ko jisika pudro. Anne. Na enye we po. Capstone E Global Consult Limited. Esanso boama. Sa wo peka atofri amanone. Omo be ye ho hyehyeye nyina ma. Na wo nsatimi aka ka biara edawa kumaso wa bra wo mre ho enti omo se bra omo so ye sesi a wo behu omo Otema community 9 omo ni Ashama Timber Market ene din hwe animu anasa fra omo en wo 0599 183083 anasa 0302 986573 amanone fo so fra omo +821 021811 Capstone E Global Consult Limited. Your success is our business.
Let me pick opinions of my panel members quickly on latest on Black Sherif and the cruise people issues, because I believe last week started you didn't come on na Koba say company from cruise people almost the Black Sherif akojina court na the year no the IPM money say almost you Black Sherif $100,000 and now almost you Black Sherif down. I would want to read the story as has been published on pulse.com.gh. Then I'll get the views of my people, how they would advise the industry to handle this, how they would even advise Black Sherif and his team, as well as cruise people. As industry people, I'm sure what we say can go a long way to correct some of the issues that we are seeing around. So, story says, Cruise People Limited sues Black Sherif for $100,000 for breach of contract. And it reads, the Cruise People Limited, an event organizing company, has taken legal action against popular musician Black Sherif, citing breach of contract. The lawsuit filed at the High Court alleges that the musician failed to fulfill the terms of the agreement, ultimately resulting in the cancellation of the highly anticipated Afro Cruise Jam concert, which was originally scheduled for August. According to the plaintiff, Cruise People Limited, they had booked Black Sherif for the cruise event and paid half of his booking fee, amounting to $20,000. As part of the agreement, the second Sermon hitmaker was expected to create a video confirming his participation in the concert in Greece. The lawsuit claims that despite assurances from Black Sherif that he would send the required video ahead of the media launch on May 19th, he failed to do so. Consequently, Cruise People Limited had already paid 18,000 Ghana cedis to secure cabins on, $18,000, I beg you, $18,000 to secure cabins on the cruise ship, and an additional 65,000 cedis to Joy FM for the event launch on drive time, due to Black Sherif's failure to confirm his musical performance through the video clip. The plaintiff contends that the cruise line cancelled the booking of the cabins, resulting in the loss of the deposit of $18,000. Cruise People Limited argues that Black Sherif was fully aware that his confirmation was crucial for the success of the event, as the patronage and interest were largely dependent on his announcement of availability to perform. Now, Cruise People Limited assessed that Black Sherif's actions amounts to a serious breach of the agreement they entered into on April 18, 2023, rendering the entire contract void. Seeking appropriate redress, the Afro Cruise Jam organizers are requesting the court to direct Black Sherif to refund the $20,000 booking fee he received and to compensate the company with $18,000 for the lost cabin reservation on the cruise ship. Additionally, they are seeking interest on the $20,000. They are seeking interest on the $20,000 from April 18, 2023 until the date of full payment, as well as $50,000 to cover the lost profits resulting from Black Sherif's breach of contract. Furthermore, Cruise People Limited is pursuing an order for the musician to reimburse the 65,000 Ghana cedis paid to the multimedia group for the sole purpose of advertising the video clip that Black Sherif ultimately failed to provide. In addition, the general damages for breach of contract, the company is seeking compensation for legal costs incurred throughout the legal process, is what we have mentioned. Last week, come idea about Black Sherif on a Cruise People company, Afro Jams, Cruise People, a company no more event na ya ka eko bonyum aksa agie ni worship mu no. Se see ida sem no, ya dia koma ane court akasa. Ya someone Black Sherif my dia sem na could do court. Into short TV ni so a rate of someone no na daso no. Civic suit dia kotoa so far there. Almost say almost kika almost sika ni na boom number $100,000. $20,000 on the man Black Sherif na nanke de bibe am say no kromo je hon faso a check scarum got to bank aka from April ABC August 3 months aka sika abamu papa ni ampa okoye is a fixed deposit na 3 months here and faso wom and almost say cabins be able to aka $16,000 ne na sifo ni nyina and also omo Jeffrey Black Sherif wanya no kwans omkotu eska Emma multimedia so munye advert more launch ne more for the event and also almost say almost Jesus kind 65,000 Ghana cedis almost almost jilling in free Black Sherif for now I say we have some case you minim say asemi ye beka ni na court and na say eba ko wi eche ne o se family fee na emeka na industry no cry how do we want it as an industry send your panel ye pese asem no enko court ne enka ho ana industry nya enfa asem ne mrafi na yenka esese organizers no dey check Black Sherif and na say organizers no omo ntwimuton no omo nyom sika hefa na ogina mamintie edem ono na asa omo court no ogina obi anyway which one would you call for? Forgiveness, taking the money as was paid, the compensation, court ruling till the end, or an arbitration? Which one would you opt for?
I would have opted for arbitration because what I see is it's brands, involvement of brands, and reputation is very hard to build, and it will just take few seconds for you to run down that reputation you've built over years. So, and these are some of the ways. Say, a kobase a kabe meaning any of the parties involved because the matter is in court or is going to court. I don't want to sound prejudicial as determining the matter. So, if it comes out that both parties, you know, Black and Cruise People, incur a certain debtor, definitely it will hamper their growth as a brand. And a banisa, always you try to find a way to keep that reputation intact because that will put food on your table. And Cruise People doing everything possible to have their trust of their patrons that it's not as though we took your money and failed to put on the artists, but this is what happened. And we are not sitting down. We are taking steps, legal action to seek a certain redress. I think Black Sherif also has a side of the story, and that is what the court is about. That you tell your story, I tell you my story, and whoever has that compelling fact
Okay.
At the end of the day, becomes the winner of the case. Clearly, from the case, cruise people know they have, before you are taken serious in the court, you need to show evidence of injury, especially inside, because they are taking damages.
Yeah.
You need to be able to show injury, that this has caused me this, and it is why you need to give me this. They have brought out evidence of a cancellation. First, it was the flyer to show that he was on. They have showed that they paid a certain amount as down payment. They've showed that they paid a media organization an amount of money. They are showing that they paid for deposit, cabin crew, and incurred certain losses. Now they have even, if you, the rate is very detailed, quantifying profits they would have made in Ghana, what they would have made from the diaspora, and all their profits and kumenya, and the inability of the thing to happen, a caution. Now they are trying to say that that video they are demanding from him was a sine qua non, which is something without which nothing can happen.
Okay.
So they want to show that that video is so vital
To the contract.
to the contract and everything. And they state in the read that he was obliged to do that video, which he agreed. And at a point on the said day where the press conference was taking place, when they were mounting pressure on them, they had a certain video interaction with the artists where he gave them their word that, oh, they will do it. So now it's on Black Sherif's team, because in such instance, you know your level of blameability and responsibility. So if you know your level of blameability and responsibility, I mean, Daniel Vanderpoy, who is the CEO of your Chris people, has given the indication they are ready for any form of arbitration. So, I mean, if they think that they have a case which is superior than them, definitely they should go ahead, because at the end of the day, there's an industry which is growing. So we need such test cases to guide us going forward, because that is how industry is built. So if they think they have a superior fact or case which can counter the cruise people, definitely I will encourage them to go to court, and because that will also go to a very long extent of, I mean, restoring the image and evidence this is bringing on him, because he has gone to court, he has proven his case and he's won. And if they think that their level of blameability is so high and there is a need for alternative resolution, I will plead that they go for it, so that at the end of the day there can be an amicable situation. If it has to come to the extent that, oh, I will play this number of shows for you for this, you understand, so to make up for all of these, fine. So it depends on it depends on where. So Sisiano, omuna omujina okona no, and they know where they lie in terms of, I mean, preparation.
Thank you.
And see, we are waiting to see. I mean, what will happen. It will be good for the industry.
Well, yeah,
but I think time will go good. Will favor both of them.
So far, even if you take it out of the legal institutions and you bring it to the court of public opinion, looks as if the story is still kind of one-sided. So far, it is only Nipa Bakupen kind of story in the public.
And nobody is preventing the other guy.
Of course, talk. Yes, and American. So in the public's eye, the other party have not presented their counter case or counter argument in any form. Neither have they. I don't know if they've responded to the suit yet or not. You understand? So yes, so far that is what is going on, and I am also concerned about in future how people are going to deal with both parties. We all know the way. Yes, it is a growing industry, and some of these things have very funny ways of creating perception in people's minds. especially with regards to how relationships are built in the industry. You know, in our space, it is about 50% of informal way of doing business and 50% way of formal way of doing business. So sometimes people would want to treat some of these situations in that light. So in a situation whereby maybe in future the company would want to go and deal with other artists. Hey, company will sue Black Sherif Jen 100,000. No. So it is either, if you know, probably you might find yourself wanting in certain aspects in reaching their demands, you pull out as quickly as possible. And all these things wouldn't be good for our industry, if you ask me. Yes, as much as some of these cases would also break in the investment confidence in some places, it is also, on the other hand, it can also prevent people from working with such companies when they know, oh, aside business, relationship cannot even be considered in any way or something.
Okay.
And also, if this yes, masotre ede na uniska yentwe manso. You understand? It is also very costly and time consuming, because looking at both parties and how they are going to handle this whole case, should they not settle for arbitration and no point never assembly I day more, because if they are not able to settle, they say the best lawyers would even advise you to settle out of court.
Okay.
And if it doesn't go through that process and it ends up in a legal battle, then it means that both parties will have some of their time being consumed by some of these things, while they could have even gone ahead to do other things. Both the company and by this time it would have been a good time, and can be almost prepare some baby show Navia, and can be almost prepare other artists to do subsequent ones, and also on the part of the artist. And by this time, the session or kind will fear to Maba and can prepare the way forward and how to build his career. But then this particular incident is going to consume their time one way or the other. I agree with Adam. It is a growing industry, and sometimes we need some of these things to guide us in the future. So in the future, when some of these things reoccur, we can refer to say, oh, a C, A, B, C, D. As at this time, this is how we were able to find solution to it. Yes, we know that times and seasons sometimes change, but can that, your friends, a format be used in our current situation? If it can, then it will definitely help in the future. But with the way things are going there, I wish, said the other party, which is the artist company, would come and respond quickly, because either way, the conversations around is not helping their brand.
Okay.
Whether legally or in the court of public opinion, the conversations around is not so good for their brand. And the earlier, sometimes they say silence is golden, but some silence too is more a chango. And if you are able to respond quickly, at least you save yourself certain damages. To some extent, you are able to minimize certain negative perception about your brand. And we all know how difficult it is building a brand from somewhere for people to even accept you, especially in a space so many people don't understand. So I wish that the other party would come and respond quickly. If they have a very good case to counter what the first party have brought now, I believe they should go ahead. But if they think they settling out of court will give them that peace of mind and end this thing quickly, then they should settle for that one as well.
Well, let me move on to Coach Akin. Listen to him finally on this topic. Then we move on to other matters. Kojo, also, who is saying so far?
On grounds now, when it comes to investors, the rate at which we are losing investors and their interest is alarming. And so when conversation of such nature comes, we need to be very, very careful how we treat it. Else we will lose the few ones that we have. And so listening to the cruise people and the cases they are making, I want to believe an institution of that repute, they understand their contract terms, and the claims they are making that, okay, it was clearly stated that he was supposed to provide certain things at certain dates.
Yeah.
And so they are
certain time frame.
Exactly. They are stating all the possible losses that they have encountered. And it is making their case look solid. Now, we all know the other side will never come to respond, and it is not looking good in their favor. To me, I always want precedent. Precedence is key when it comes to law. There are certain cases that are very not common at the courts. So one happens and it serves as precedent. And in our case, in our industry, we need to grow. And these are the reasons, some of the things that helps industry to grow. Because one case will save a lot of people.
Yeah. So that is why elsewhere people don't mess up. Because they know when you mess up.
They know the consequences.
We know of a guy, I must say every day, how much?
$5,000.
$5,000.
So he dies.
I'll be a side $5,000 till he dies. If you hear such a story, you won't play the buffoon.
So you see, when we get to this, we get to the bridge and we are trying to find easy ways to cross this. At times, it looks funny to me, you know. We all know that yes, it can be settled out of court, and I think the other party could have avoided this.
Okay.
Because if we listen to the Chris people, it has been back-to-back conversations, and it's like the other side kept mute. They weren't cooperating with them, and it has pushed them to go the legal way because they also want to protect their finances. And so most cases like this, I wish it sees goes through the court settings and we see the end result. I know our artist is to pay. It's guilty of all the charges and is to pay certain amount. Then it will serve as deterrent to a lot of the musicians who are not so disciplined, who may take investors or event organizers for granted and all of that. But as we know, an Alaji will call, a big man will call, and probably double the money and pay, then everything will be set amicable. And we wouldn't get to see the court proceedings and all of that. We will serve as precedent for the industry. And so we especially now that we are losing interest of event organizers and all of that, we need to protect the few ones that we have. Even though we know some of the event organizers are also not disciplined. Some of them will not will want to demand things outside of their contract, and artists will not speak. Artists will not speak, come out and condemn some of this. So it's either way. In as much as artists are also not complying to their contractual terms, some of the event organizers are also not doing the same. And so we need to make sure we strike a balance so that everyone can operate, because they are all stakeholders. And it is bad on the other side, because some of these artists are getting bookings, but most of the event organizers have given up because of one or two treatments meted out to them by some of the artists, and it affects the whole industry. For this event, I know people were connected down here in the industry who were going to also perform other duties or services, but because of the cancellation, all of them are going to lose.
Well, thank you so much, Kojo King. Thank you, Edem Mensah Chatome, and thank you to Roland Amate. Insightful conversation here on Class Showbiz Live on CTV.